What's up guys, ClickVice here with my third video ever. In today's video, we're going to be going over the Sunken Temple 150 mob pool. I really appreciate all the overwhelmingly positive feedback and support on my previous videos. It makes me want to keep going with content creation, so thank you everyone. If you have any suggestions or things you want to see covered in the future, or things I could have done better, or tips or tricks about being a mage, or anything like that, please consider commenting below. Also consider subscribing or liking my channel. I'm also live on YouTube and Twitch every single day at twitch.tv/clickvice and youtube.com/@clickvice. Come stop by the channel and say hello. The purpose of the video is to try to give you all the tips, tricks, and insight you need to avoid the frustrating pitfalls while learning this. This pull is definitely more difficult than the first two, but it's totally worth it because you can get 8 to 12 gold per of raw gold per pull, not including in the cloth or anything you can go to the auction house with, like any of the recipes or the BOE rares or epics. You can also sell this boost or just farm it solo. Additionally, I'd like to give a big shout out to Magebun, also known as Harambe the Monkey, for being essentially the architect of this style of pulling using the double Blizz blink method. His video is linked in the description below. I can't thank him enough for his help on this. Let's get into the consumes real quick. You need nature protection potions. That's basically mandatory. I use 2 to 3 of these each pull. I use health and mana potions, and I can't stress enough how important bandages are. Also, I use iron grenades. While these aren't entirely mandatory, they make the pull so much smoother if you have leakers or any patrols or anything like that. In terms of the gear, I have above 100 nature resistance. You don't need this much. Some people say as low as 60 is fine. I just like to have more because the mobs can hex you, which essentially polymorphs you into a frog. You need to ice block and blink out of it. And a lot of times, if it's in a bad spot, they can just kill you. So more nature resistance is better. And shadow resistance can't hurt. I have the Necropile set, which gives you plus $15 resistances. Again, this isn't mandatory, but it just helps with having more resistance. And I just have some pre-bis, nothing too crazy. In terms of talents, typical Frost talents, I'll link these in the description below. For Arcane, though, Magic Absorption, so you can get your mana back. Of course, Arcane Concentration for the clear casting, Magic Attunement, because you will be using Dampen Magic the entire time during this pull, and then Arcane Meditation. This is actually more important in this pull than any of the previous. And so I'm going to go over why I'm using the double Blizz Blink method and why I like this style more. I think firstly you can be more consistent instead of chancing it, trying to face tank the mobs. I see some of the pulls where people are taking unshielded damage and that you can risk getting dazed and the pull's just over. You also preserve your Cone of Cold and Cold Snap in this pull, which I like for like emergency situations. And being able to double Blizz and Blink consistently overall just makes you a better mage. And so I'm going to give you a little example here of some of the major keys of how to make this successful on some of the mobs right here. And so for some of the major keys for this is, listed them out here, is that you want to center the reticle somewhere before the leader's feet. Like let's just say, using him as an example, I want to put the reticle, let's say he's running at me, I want to put it before his feet. Like you can go as far as this, but at least like at minimum this, right? Like that's, you want the center of this reticle here. And you want to collect all the mobs running, all the melee mobs in the blizzard. You want them to get hit by the slow debuff, because if you don't and then one leaks past you, they can interrupt your blizzard or just kill you if they have thrash. And then also you want to do a quick little run forward on each blizzard, and watch the leading mob's debuff timer. And what I mean by this is when I cast Blizzard, you're going to see the debuff timer. It consistently, if the mob is within the Blizzard, it'll consistently stay at 4 seconds. As soon as the leading mob goes to 3, that means you know that he's going to leak through. And I'll try to show you an example of that. Also, you want to memorize the route and always be shielded up during this. So you kind of want to have it so your ice barrier is always on cooldown. And I'll just show you an example here before we get into the actual pull. So let's say I Blizzard him. I'll just do one where he's right before the reticle. So you see his debuff timer. I have him selected. Let's say he's the lead mob. As soon as he keeps going to 4, 4. See, it went down to 3 immediately. So that means he's out of, when it goes to 3 seconds, he's out of the, so you want to run forward and blizz again, right? That's how you keep them consistently blizzed. You'll see me do that during the pull. And now let's get into the actual pull. Alright, to start, you have Dampen Magic, Arcane Intellect, and Ice Armor. I also get Nature Protection Potion. While not absolutely mandatory, it really helps you to not have your blizzards interrupted during the pull. I'm gonna Frost Nova here, and then also mark that mob, just so I can have more visibility on it later. Around the candle right here is when I Ice Barrier, and I run up. If you see the pat, you just Cone of Cold them. If they're on the bottom stairwell, I always check. I actually rank 1 Blizzard them, but there I just Cone of Cold them. Blink forward, and then we're going to count to about 4 1000, 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000, 4 1000 Blizzard. And this should get the mobs here. They are all slowed. We move forward. And then we're going to run to the left on the first pack. Jump over here. Rank 1 Arcane Explosion just to pull them into the eventual Frost Nova of these mobs. Then we blink forward. And then we rank 1 Blizzard here. We see the lead runner. And we're going to watch his debuff timer. It's at 3. Now we move forward a little bit. This will give us enough time to blink here. Or enough time to reset the cooldown on blink. Blink is about up. Jump. Blink. And then again. Normally I should shield here, but I didn't. I'm going to reapply shield. And then this is a long pack. You see how the pack is configured in a longer configuration? Those are the packs that you Nova. We jump, blink through the square pack. Blizzard here. Check the lead runner. Try to get a double Blizz. This one's coming. It's fine. We're just going to Cone of Cold these. Then run forward. And then jump. Blink. Again. Blizzard. Okay, we got everybody. We're going to Blizzard again. Move forward. Jump. Blizz. I'm gonna nade here. Jump Blizz. We have a long pack. Frost Nova, right? Then this is the only pack where you run to the right. This gives you enough time to jump, blink here. Turn around. So you see why it's good to have nades. So then we Blizz here. Enough time for blink to come back. So we're going to run through this corner. Blink here immediately. Blizz again. Staying on the left side, avoiding the imps. Now we just run, and we don't want the mobs to get too far away from us because they can hit you in the bottom of the stairwell. We're just going to run down the stairwell. Jump, Cone of Cold these. We just keep running. And you don't want to be too far away from the mobs. You also don't want to be too close to the inside here. A jump, turn, Cone of Cold, just to keep them off us. Keep going on the stairwell, running about into the middle so we don't get hit from the inside. I'm going to jump here in Nova, and then blink immediately. And then we Blizzard these mobs. I'm keeping an eye on the front pack. So his timer's up, so then Blizzard again. Here we go, and then blinks off cooldown, blink again. I'm going to mark the front mob just to see where he's at. Get my Ice Barrier up again. Blink on cooldown on the stairwell just to keep a decent amount of distance again. And you can get hit, but you have to be really, really far ahead of them. See how they're swinging on me now? So if you're too far ahead, you can get hit. Gonna run forward here, and then I'm gonna jump, Frost Nova, and then blink right here. And now what I like to do is I put on Mage Armor, and I kind of want the casters to be able to cast on me. So this is what's nice, is that if you're low health, if you're low mana, you can bandage up here and essentially reset all your cooldowns, reset the pool essentially if you're struggling. And watch, so just letting the casters cast on me, getting some mana back. I don't want the melee mobs to get too far behind. So just trying to keep them grouped up. Again, this isn't the kill phase. This is just a spot I like to use to get health back. You don't have to be a full mana. I think that's good. So we're just gonna slow them here. And then I'm gonna rank 3, Fire Blast here, jump up here. You don't have to jump sideways. I see some people do that. It's not absolutely mandatory. I'm gonna counterspell this, another Fire Blast, blink, Nova. And then I'm gonna run along this wall, the jump W from my previous videos I've described, where you run up, press jump W. This slows the mobs down and will eventually reset after 15 seconds, so you don't want to stay up here too long. Sometimes I'll bandage up there, but I don't entirely recommend it. One thing I also forgot to mention is when you're on the kill phase spot, or that halfway point where I get the mana back, a lot of times I like to use another nature protection potion, and I also like to use ice armor to switch back to it. I didn't this time, but it can help. So I just do this a little bit differently. I counterspell that guy, and then I just run forward, let the boss aggro everybody, jump forward. It's a lot simpler. I've never really died from it ever, just doing it like that. And I like to have the potion up just so that I can absorb all the damage here. That's the main reason for the potion. Now here I jump blink. If you look back, the mobs are nicely kind of grouped up, so a lot of times I'll blizzard right here. I don't absolutely have to, but it just gives you time for your blink right here. I just like to blizzard, keep them grouped up. Okay, they're grouped up here. Blink forward. A lot of times you want to avoid that Shadow Word Pain, so you don't want to get too close to the Corpse Eaters, because I will, if I'm low health, bandage right here. Not absolutely necessary. Again, you have about 15 seconds on this ledge, so if you bandage here, just keep that internal clock. Go over here. We're going to counterspell the closest mob. Jump up in this corner. Get back here. Right along the edge. And then from here, I'm going to reapply barrier. Cone Cold this mob. Rank 1 Fire Blast here. Jump Nova these, and blink. Now from here, we're going to run straight. You see all the mobs are on us. Basically, you pulled all the mobs in the instance except for one more pack. And I just like to run forward. I don't really blizzard right there. I like to just blink and then blizzard on, like at this spot. Again, you're not really... It's not really mandatory. Like, it's not like you're running through packs waiting for blink to come off cooldown. I'm just trying to get them grouped up because during the ice block phase, your ice block could actually run out. So I'm just gonna cold him. He's a little too close. We'll blink forward, and then we'll blizz this area. If you go the path that I just went through the middle right there, and then straight on this line, these will never aggro on you. And even if they do reset once you get to the kill spot. Again, Kona Cold here. Gonna reapply our shield, and then I'm going to jump Nova, blink, and then we get our blizzard going here. Try to get as many mobs tagged as we can. Go forward. We're gonna check behind us. One thing I like to do, moving forward. Alright, so we blink here, and we mark the first mob. And I like to also mark the back mob, so then I can know what my grouping is. And then from here, I'm gonna bandage. I don't like to move. If I move and try to bandage, then the mobs will start casting on you. Even if you go here, I actually prefer the back ledge to try and cast on. You can do it on the front. You kind of have to do it if you're a gnome, because you get more information about where the mobs are at relative to where you are in the pool. So I'm going to rank 1 Blizz on the floor to start. So I just get a rank 1 going. Go here. Line of sight the casters. Go back. Come back here. Rank 1 Blizz again. You see how far out I am? A lot of times if you're here, the mobs will cast right here, which is actually good for keeping your mana topped off. So go back here. So now, for the most part, I can tell based on my raid target indicators, the mobs are completely grouped up. So from here, this is when I'll start to blizzard. I'll max rank on this ledge. Now I'm going to watch out. He's going to try to hex me. See how he tried to hex me there? You can always tell if they're about to hex when they stop for half a second. and they're looking at you, like you know they're targeting you, that's when you know they're hexing you. So again, that's why I like a lot of nature resist. You can resist those spells. I'm going to jump up here again, line of sight the mobs, come back over here, reapply shield, and then again I kind of like to be further out, so then that way the mobs free cast on you. Not only does it help, but when they're casting over here they're further away, meaning they're not in range of hex, so it's kind of nice. Now they're pretty grouped up. I'm going to backside Blizz here, trying to do some damage while still slowing them. I'm not going to do max rank. I'm checking if any mobs leak through. So I don't see any mobs leaking through. Now I'm going to, again, go to rank 1. And what I'm looking for here is that the mobs get low. I want them at a certain health. And I don't want any of the elite mobs to die if I'm like low on mana or low on resources. So what I like to do, come back up over here. See, I'm to the right of my previous videos. What I like to do though is cast here, because that way the casters stay and I'm reduces the chance they can hex me. Come back up here again. I don't want the mobs to go past this line typically, because if you miss the ledge or miss the jump or anything like that, the melee can attack you. Additionally, you can get hexed from there, so you want to keep them as far back as possible. Again, they're grouped up, so I'm just gonna max rank here. Looking at their health. Whelps are dying now, but again, the corpse eaters can't eat off the whelps. I'm checking if any leakers got through. I don't see any. I'm looking at this little space right here, right? It's really hard to see, but that's why I like to see if any of the mobs are going around the corner. Keep them back up here. Reapply my shield. Again, I saw some go around the corner, so we're just going to rank 1 again. I don't know if any more are coming around. They leave a little bit of gap so you get information. Mobs are casting on me. That's all good. And again, what's cool about this spot is you can manage where the casters go. And the casters can be kind of important because not only can they give you health, but they can hex you and they can heal. So you kind of want to manage your casters well by going to the right and further back, right? So now they're healing, which is fine. I don't care about the healing as much as I do the corpse eating. So rank 1 again. And then I'm going to max rank on this side because I feel like all the mobs are very, very grouped up. See, she tried to hex me there. She might be casting on me. I want her to go back with the group, so I counterspell, run to the side. She did try to hex, but again, I have over 100 nature resistance, so now, since they're fairly grouped up, and I feel like the mobs... Oh! I feel like the mobs are getting pretty low. This is when we start essentially the kill phase. Remember, there's only one Wormkin dead, so the Hex Eaters could start eating, theoretically. I just don't know how low they are. So I'm going to max rank once I get down on the floor again this last time. Oops. Okay, come back over here. Just want to group them up again, so they spread out a little bit. So I know I said I was going to max rank, but this time I'm just rank 1. I have a clear casting though, so on the back side. So I'm looking at my kill tracker. Looks like mobs are going down. So we're just trying to burst them down now before the corpse eaters have too much time to eat. This is effectively the real kill phase. Really trying to burst them down. So now you have the straggler mobs. Just gonna check the health of some of these. We do have a corpse eater up, kind of prematurely. We're gonna eat a... There it is. We eat a gem here. Max rank Blizz again. I'll try to burst these down. I don't know if I'll be able to get these. I do have evocation, so I might be able to. Let's see, I forgot to use evo there. One thing you can do too is wait for the mobs to go all the way around the corner here, and then come over here and try to get it so the corpse eaters don't get near the corpses, and then just Blizz here. Now this corpse eater, full health unfortunately, so I think in this instance I'll just reset. Normally I can get more, but I got about 7 this time. But yeah, it's the key ingredient with that stuff is to start bursting down the mobs as soon as you kill the first elite mobs. And what this requires is that the mobs are properly grouped up, for one. 2, you have all your mana and resources, or most of your mana, and then also your resources like your gem and evocation. So then that way you can consistently blizzard on the backside. I also don't think it hurts to have a nature protection potion on so you can't get interrupted during this phase. Also try to keep your shields up, so having ice barrier only helps. I could have actually just killed these mobs, however I didn't want to because I wanted to get the I didn't want the whelps to reset, and I mean it's only 4 mobs versus like about 40 whelps worth of loot, so I decided to make that trade-off. But that basically concludes the video. If you have anything else you want to see in the future, please let me know. Also continue to comment about different things you think I could do, or different tips or tricks you know, whether it comes to weak aura, add-on, or just overall technique. Thank you for everything, and I'll see you in the next one.